Thank you so much. Welcome aboard. This is our 93rd edition of Transformers Hub International. This is where we sharpen, empower, edify, and make each other stronger as we pursue to live to the fullness of our greatness. Are you there wondering, what should I do? How can I get to live a higher living, a life of success, a life that is worthy being celebrated? That life has certain principles that you ought to embrace in order for you to see yourself arrive to that life. And as Transformers Hub, this is where we come as a hub to be able to draw different people, come and share insights, nuggets, and school ourselves in the elements, principles, truth, and insights that are going to empower us to live into the fullness of our greatness. Well, once again, Edwin Peter, Sewan Kambo. For the people here, it is hard for them to pronounce it. So that is why I usually stick to Edwin Peter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will not take long. I want to thank you, all of you that are watching right now. And for those of you who will be watching later, this is our 93rd edition of Transformers Hub International. And we're going to dive into it right away. You're the real deal. Series 2, part 2, if you may say so. We realized that a number of times we blamed our parents. We blamed our societies where we come from. We blamed our OGs, our relatives, our governments, because we have not yet made it in life. We are whining, we are jittering, and we are there caught up in the rut of self-pity and thinking somebody will rise up and probably give us an open door for us to be able to arrive to the life we desire to live. Oh no, as Transformers Hub members, we say that is not right. We say the real deal that the world needs is you. All you need to do is to embrace certain principles, certain truth, for you to be able to let the world make you become who you were designed to be. And as long as you see yourself that way, the world will celebrate you that way. The world will only celebrate you as far as you celebrate yourself. What is it that you celebrate about yourself? If you have nothing to celebrate about yourself, the world cannot celebrate you. But I'm here to tell you today, in this part 2 of You Are the Real Deal, to let you know that there is much more in you that the world can celebrate. And you are the very deal that the world is honestly seeking for to solve its solution. And last time we had to look at several different truth, different principles, different insights that we ought to embrace. And some of these truths are very, 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 very pertinent in our lives. They are very applicable in our lives. To some, no. To some, they may be new, but they are not new in the sense that there is nothing new on this planet Earth. So it's just because we've not been acknowledging them. That's why when we come as Transformers Hub, we purpose and say, hey, look here, whatever we speak is not new. It's just the mode of presentation that we are bringing it with. It is maybe you've never heard about it, but it's not new. You can apply it. Other people have applied it, and they've gotten and they've arrived to the life they desire to live. So you too can apply it. So all these truths are applicable. All you need to do is to just go back to the first part of the real deal and get the first six principles, truth that we talked about. And then today we are diving into the next 6 that we wind up with the real deal that the world is waiting for it to be able to solve its solutions. You will only be able to arrive as long as you're able to solve a solution. The world is never seeking for problem creators. It is always seeking for problem solvers. And the solutions that the world needs to adequately administer to the problems that it is stricken with, they are trapped in no any other person but the species called human being. Man. That's why we looked at one of the truth that we established last time, that man is the compound entity of solutions that the world has not yet fully tapped into. Therefore, as a person that desires to arrive to a life that is what's being celebrated, a life of success, a life of higher achievement, there are certain truths that you should embrace. That's why we had to bring to you this truth, the 12 truths, and we looked at the first 6. Today we are diving into the next 6 truths. And the truth that we are giving you is actually going to set you free. Because even the Jewish philosophers did say that the truth shall set you free. One of the greatest men that has ever lived on earth said that the truth shall set you free. So the truth in it is trapped the freedom that you desire to have. And that's why as Transformers we bring this truth to you. And one of the truths that we want to extend, the 6th truth, is that every human species is an existing solution to someone else's existing problem. I repeat, every human species is an existing living solution to someone else's existing problem. Every person you see, you may find him in the higher offices, corporate offices, on the street, even the person you find and you ignore as a mad person, as a crazy person, a person eating off the garbage and the dustbins and the roadside, very dirty, looking ugly. That person, he is a living solution to someone else's living, existing problem. It is because at that particular moment where you have been not able to celebrate him, to recognize him, for you to be able to ignore him, it is because he has not discovered the real him. Is not in self-awareness of the solutions trapped on the inside of him. That's why he has reduced himself to self-abuse. He was waiting for someone to lift him up. He was waiting for probably the rich parents that he thought that they should be rich to help him to become somebody. He was relying on OGs, on OBs, on the government, on the community, on the relatives, and they did not show up. I'm here to announce to you that all the people you're relying on, they will not show up. Rise up, square up yourself and purpose from today and understand that you are the real deal. You are the real deal. That the world needs to solve its existing problems. In every human species, there is living solutions that are wired on the inside of him to solve an existing problem. Therefore, if you're an existing living solution, you are the real deal. Yes, you are. On the inside of you is innovation, creativity, enterprise, solutions that the world needs to adequately administer to its existing problems. Therefore, do not whine. Do not complain. Stop murmuring. Square up yourself. Put your mind together and say from this day henceforth, I rise up. I need to establish, I need to explore who is the real me, what is trapped on the inside of me, what is that enterprise, what is that solution, what is that gifting, what is that talent, what is that ingenuity? Is it in science? Is it in cyber knowledge? Is it in your activity of music, art, and industry? Is it in sportsmanship? What is it? What is that thing that you can provide to the world to solve its existing problems? That very thing is the real deal that the world is waiting for you to solve its existing problem. And every time you solve a problem, the world will celebrate you. What is it? What is it that you've got on the inside of you? This one truth, that in every human species is an existing living solution, to someone else's existing problem, will make you liberated from the whining, from the complaining, from the murmuring, from blaming your parents, from blaming your community, from blaming the schools you went to. Oh, the schools I went to, they were not good. Oh, the friends I went with to school, they all turned out to leave me behind. Oh, my relatives didn't think about me. Oh, the government has forgotten about us. Stop whining and begin to square up in your mind and purpose that I am more valuable than what everyone thinks. Begin to do a self-inventory. Ask yourself the questions. What are the necessary questions that you should ask yourself in the self-inventory? What is it that I have on the inside of me that I can offer to the world? If you have nothing to offer to the world will have nothing to offer to you. I repeat, if you have nothing to offer to the world has nothing to offer to you. Therefore, search within yourself, self-evaluate, do a self-inventory, ask the questions. What is that living solution, me as a human species, that I have, that exists in me as a living solution to someone else's existing problem? And the moment you get to find, discover, establish that truth, you are a golden jackpot. You are the real deal that the world is been waiting for. It has been waiting for you to arrive. So when you establish this, man, you are in for the real celebration. You are in for the real higher life that you've been desiring to live. All the people we celebrate today, Microsoft, Bill Gates with his Microsoft, Steve Jobs of Apple, all these people, the Jeff Bezos of Amazon, all these people we are celebrating today, they had to become the real deal by finding out the living solutions that lived on the inside of them for them to be able to solve the existing problems that were stricken with this world. That's why we celebrate them. Do you want to be celebrated like Jeff Bezos? Do you want to be celebrated like Elon Musk of all these dictator cars that are coming up? Do you want to be celebrated of all that ingenuity, of all that power on the inside of you? You need to rise up to begin to let that which is trapped on the inside of you offer to the world. That's what makes you the real deal. Don't whine. You're much more than whining. Stop deleting all over everyone. People right now are starting even to run away from you. They're avoiding you because you've turned whining and glittering and complaining and murmuring, you've turned it into a song. So what happens at the end of the day? They're saying, oh, she has got a negative energy. Oh, he is not worthy staying around. His environment, his atmosphere is so toxic. They don't want you to be around you because they don't want them to be around you because they just find themselves, you're too toxic for them to be able to move on. So they avoid you. Why? Because you're whining. You're blaming your parents. You're blaming the government. You're blaming your OGs and OBs. You're blaming your relatives. You're blaming so and so. You're blaming the local councillors. You're blaming the governor. You're blaming the mayor. You're blaming your children. You're blaming each and every other person. You are finding reason to blame each and everything around you. So people are distancing themselves from you. And then you start complaining. Oh, I think they are feeling so special. They are feeling arrogant. They are sidetracking me. They don't want to get closer to me. When I call them, they cannot go. Because you've surrounded and saturated yourself with toxicity of whining, grumbling, murmuring, glittering all the time. They cannot afford your toxic environment. Why? Just because you've settled into a place of understanding that it is not about the people around you that will make you to arrive. It is what is trapped on the inside of you as a living solution to solve the existing problem there is to this world. That is what is going to make you indispensable, infallible, undisputable. That is what is going to make you different. So if you're going to find the real you, you ought to establish, you ought to come into this full knowledge of the truth that inside you is existing living solutions that the world is waiting for to solve its existing problems. I'll go to the next point in interest of time. You need to understand this other truth. Your failure to rise as a living solution is intentional malice to the predestined bearer of your assignment. I repeat, your failure to rise as a living solution is intentional malice to the predestined bearer of your assignment. What do I mean by this? You failing to offer your solution trapped on the inside of you is the reason why a certain person struck into homelessness, living on the streets, still trapped with that disease, still caught up into a mess. That person was assigned that the solutions you needed for your problem to be solved is trapped on the inside of someone, and that person has failed to arise to the occasion to fully function in that assignment. Therefore, what happens? The bearer of that solution to liberate, to free them, to emancipate them of what they are experiencing is in trouble, is caught up, is enslaved, just because you've not yet come into full play of the solutions that you are created to solve, to offer to the world. You are the living solution. So your failure to arise as a living solution is intentional malice to the predestined bearer of your solution. Imagine if the white brothers had not yet come into full play of their ingenuity in coming up with a plan, where would we be today? That means we would take hours and hours, days and days to travel. That means some people could not achieve certain things, could not reach to nations that were destined to reach, to impact, to influence. Why? If the white brothers had not arisen to come into full play of the solutions that existed in them. Likewise, trapped on the inside of you, there is enormous potential, ingenuity, talent, and gifting that the world is waiting for. And the people that are meant to be bearers of your solutions, if you do not come into full play, if you do not rise up to ensure that you come into total functionality of what you are assigned to solve, those people, the bearers, the recipients of what you were created for, might be still trapped in agony, might be still trapped in pain, in slavery. Why? Because you have not come into full play as the real deal to solve their problems. Imagine the scientists, the doctors, the health practitioners, if they had not shown up to fully play into their ingenuity, where this world would be. Everyone who would get sick would die. But because they came into full play of their ingenuity, of their scientific invasions and scientific giftings and talents. That's why if we get ill, if we are frail in our health, we have a solution provided. And therefore, when they provide it to us, we are liberated and we come also into full play of our solutions that we offer to them as well, in terms of business, in terms of art, in terms of enterprise and other administrative solutions. Therefore, every human species, you inclusive and I inclusive, we are designated existing living solutions meant to solve someone else's existing problem. When you arrive to that truth, it brings you to a place to understand that you shouldn't fail, because your failure in arising, in coming into full play of that solution, it is intentional malice to frustrate, to continuously enslave someone else that you are meant to solve their problems. There are a people that will never get to see their breakthrough, that will never get to see their opportunities come into play until you show up, until you arrive into your full play. There are a people that will never find a job until you come into full play. And your failure to arise is intentional failure to them, because why? You have not chosen to live into full play of what you were created to solve. So they are still bound, they are still enslaved in poverty, in lack, in problems, just because you didn't show up. Imagine Elon Musk, how many people he employs, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, how many people they employ? Warren Buffett, how many people they employ? If they had failed to rise up, to live to the fullness of the solutions that were trapped on the inside of them, that means certain people today would not be working. Certain people today would not have food on their tables. Certain people today would be dead. Why? Because if Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett had not arisen into full play of their living solutions, some of us would not be here. We would not be using these gadgets we are seeing here that Steve Jobs had to think and innovate, you know. So it is important for us to understand that, to be able to capture the fact and the truth that if you don't show up, if you fail to arise to your living solution, it is intentional malice. It is intentional malice to the person that was predestined to bear your solutions. Therefore, rise up. Your children, your wife, your relatives, your grandchildren that you've not yet even bared, maybe that you bear. Today, choose, lest if you do not show up to the fullness of the real you, all these people might not get to their levels of excellency, success, higher living, just because you fail. Your failure to live to the fullness of the real you is intentional malice to frustrate another person's destiny. Do you want to be remembered as someone that frustrated someone's future, someone's destiny? Or do you want to be remembered and be celebrated as someone who emancipated, liberated, and gave freedom to someone's financial entity, life, because of you living into fullness, into play, full play of what is trapped on the inside of you? Think about it. Think about it. That job you have, if somebody had not risen into full play of what they were created to do, would you have that job? Think about it. Would you have that job? Definitely not. But because they came into full play of what they were created to offer to the world, that's why they have been able to create streams of jobs, of work, that certain people, however humble, 2, 3, 100, 1,000, they are adding value to their lives. They are emancipating families from financial bondage. They are emancipating health. Because if you are a parent, you are a person, and you are in a position where you find yourself and you cannot afford even to pay for your medical bills when you get sick, it is so troubling. When your child desires a school material and you cannot offer it just because you don't have a job. There isn't anything frustrating like that. When you want to live a particular life that is worth acceptable and you cannot, and you have to hide away from your friends, it is so miserable. It is so miserable. Why? Just because someone did not come into full play of who they really are. Do you want to defy that odd? Do you want to go past being an average, moderate citizen on this planet Earth? Now is the time to understand that you are the real deal. You are the real deal. The other truth I want to bring to you: trapped inside every man is enormous potential to transform, to change, and impact lives and the world around them. Therefore, unravel the super you. Unravel the super you. Don't think it is made for the wisest men on earth to impact, to change, and transform lives. In your minute community, surrounding world of two, inside you is power, is talent, is enormous potential to change that one soul that you are around with, that one person that you are around with. That is your world. What is it that you have that you can bring on table to transform the people around you? What is that thing that you can speak and transform that one person that is around you? What is it that you can do and transform that one life that is around you? Let us not think of the big numbers. That's why we don't care about the numbers right now. Because as you start in your humble stage, as you impact one life, that one life will impact another life, and they will begin to create a network that begins to flow, the energy coming towards you, because you began by impacting just one life. You don't need everyone. All you need is to transform, impact, change that one life around you. It will publicize you. It will talk about you if they see change in their lives. They will herald you amidst communities, amidst assemblies, amidst gathering, and they'll say, there is this lady, there is this person, there is this man, there is this woman that got me to the place where I am. Come and see. Do not despise your humble beginnings. Don't despise your humble beginnings. Trapped on the inside of you is enormous power, potential, enterprise, industry that you can offer to the world around you. So unravel the super you. Unravel the super you. For you to be superior, you ought to offer the super you. Do not be fooled. For you to be superhuman, you must offer the super you. And that super you is the real deal that the world is waiting for. The world is fed up of averagism. mediocre beings. It's looking for the super you, the original you, the real you. That is what it is looking for. Therefore, I suggest to you, please, in all honesty, do not ever compromise your enterprise, the real you, for something mediocre. Never compromise, never substitute the real you for something average, because on the inside of you is enormous potential. There is a super you that the world is honestly waiting for you to arrive, that it may offer you the goodies that you want. Do you want to live a higher life, a successful life? Just know, trapped on the inside of you is enormous potential to change, transform, and impact the world around you. What is that world? It may not be of 10,000s. It may not be of thousands. It may not be even of 100. It may not be even of tens. It may be that world of one person. Can you impact, change, transform them? Yes, you can. And if you're able to do so, the world will celebrate you, and they will eventually herald you, publicize you, advertise you, and then you'll become the real deal that the world desired, sought for to solve its problems. And if you get into that zone, whoa, higher living is inevitable in your life. Success is inevitable in your life. Second last truth that we need to understand. You know, man's end of his misery is hidden inside of his innate God-given ingenuity. That is the real you. The end of man's misery is not trapped in anybody else. It's not trapped in your government. It's not trapped in your relatives or your hobbies or your orgies. No, that you're waiting for to open up doors for you, to connect you into higher places. No, it is not trapped in that. Man's misery is trapped and hidden in their innate God-given ingenuity, and that is the real you. Therefore, start to unravel, start to begin to undo that real you. Don't wait for your brother. Don't wait for your sister. Don't wait for your uncle, cousin, niece, nephew. Don't wait for them. What you need to end your misery is all trapped on the inside of you. It's innate of you. All you need to do is to begin to excavate it. Begin to excavate it. Begin to do a self-inventory. What is that thing that palpitates in my heart all the time, that keeps sounding, that keeps palpitating? Every time you rise up, it is the mind. It is the thought, it is the idea, it is the vision, it is the dream that you see when you're amidst your friends, when you go for an event. It is the thing that comes to your mind. Somebody passes by and you're like, oh, this is related to what I think. Oh, somebody, you go to the hospital to check on someone, and as you're there talking about something, again the idea crops up in your mind and you're like, oh, this looks like what I wanted. Oh, as you're in the fellowship, the church, somebody's preaching, and eventually he hints on that thing, and you're like, oh, this is the thing. When you rise up out of your bed, you feel it palpitating. You cannot rest because of this idea, because of this ingenuity, this project, this vision, this idea. What is that thing? That is the gateway to the end of your misery. You don't have to look it from your parents. You don't have to look it from the geographical location you came from. You don't have to look for it from the schools you went to. You don't have to look it from the friends, the social statuses, the social platforms and that we have, or media platforms that we have. It is not there. What is going to solve your misery is all trapped and hidden on the inside of you. You are the real deal to the end of your misery. Stop looking around you. You are the real deal. Rise up to the real you. Rise up to that gifting. Rise up to that potential. Rise up to that enterprise. Rise up to that ingenuity of science, of administratorship, of that hospitality, of innovation and creativity. Rise up to that potential innate of you. That is the gateway to the end of your misery. Stop waiting and looking for the government to show up with better projects that are going to emancipate you. Hey, do not stop looking at the city mayors to show up. No, they won't. Stop looking at your OBs and OGs. Probably they'll show up. Sorry, I'm here to tell you they won't show up. All you need to the end of your misery is trapped innate of you. So, what do you need? Get to find the real you. You are the real deal, and the real deal is trapped inside the real you. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to transform, impact, and change communities, neighborhoods, lives, and the world around you? You need to find the real you. And when you are in discovery of the real you, you become the real deal that the world is waiting for. Stop whining. Stop jittering. No, you're much more than that. Square up yourself. Resolve in your innermost parts of your being and say, yes, I've had it all. Yes, I've whined for long. Yes, I've jittered for long. Yes, I've complained for long. But today, I purpose. I am moving from the bondage of whining into the freedom of me becoming the real deal that the world is awaiting for. You've got what it takes to arrive to the real you, for you to become the real deal that the world is waiting for. Last but not least, the last truth that you need to know for you to go past existing into full living is this final truth. Never trade, I repeat, never trade the real you for the inauthentic you. I need to pause there. You need to contemplate. Think about it. Take a deep breath. Never trade the real you for the inauthentic you. That is the quickest route to intentional failure. Trading the real you for the inauthentic you is the quickest route to intentional failure. Self-intentional failure. A number of people today are where they are, have settled for the inauthentic them to be abused, to be treaded on, to live an unacceptable life just because they traded the real them for the inauthentic them. They are in offices trading their real them for the inauthentic them. They are actually incubating their own failure. They are seated in offices, but what they were really wired for is screaming loud in their mind, but they are always suffocating it. They go to work, rise up 4, 5, all these 10, 20, 25 years, 30 years, nothing is adding up. They are only existing. Things just continue, problems just continue accumulating. Why? Because they are living in an environment they were not created to live in. It's like getting a fish and putting it on land. It may still flare and show some life, but very soon it is going to die. Don't trade. Don't be like that fish created to be in the water, to solve certain problems, to offer oil, to offer food for people, to offer medicines for people. But just because of a little bait, it trades its authentic it and then goes for food on the land, only to find itself into death. Why? Just because it wanted quick food for it to survive. Are you in that place? Because of the quick food to solve your existing problems. At that present time, you find yourself trading the real you for the inauthentic you. You've just quickened your one-way ticket to failure. Do not trade the real you for the inauthentic you. Numerous lives today are where they are because they traded the real them for inauthentic lives. Masking, putting on cosmetics to be what they are not in order to appease everyone. One of the elements of people that are the real deal, they live a loner life because they are not appeasers of men. They are fulfillers of who they were created to be. Do you want to be that person? Let me tell you this. The world is honestly searching, questing for the real, authentic you. Therefore, embrace the real you. Embrace the real you. Deep inside the real you is what makes you the real deal that the world is seeking for. Embrace the real you. Once again, I call upon you. Don't give up on yourself. Don't trade the real you for the inauthentic you. The inauthentic you is the quickest way to intentional failure. Do not take that line. Rise up into full play of what you are created to be. And that is what will make you the real deal that the world needs. Once again, I'm Edwin Peter Sewankambo, the Timeless Transformer. I hand over back to the High Command. Thank you so much.